And we're back now. We're sorry about the start. We had a slight problem with transmission, but we're back on the air now. We got a few pictures of the GP, and with me now is Mr. Stuart Matthews, who was second in the GP, but was fetched off, unfortunately, by Jumping Jammy James on one of the berms and ended up finishing third. But let's see what Stuart felt about the race. How did you feel out there?
Well, I don't think I'm fit enough, really. You know, it's been off for a long time now. It's 9 weeks, and been suffering a bit with injuries. Got big blisters here at the moment. I've been having problems holding onto the bike, but had a good start. Went well for 3/4 of the race, but Jumping Jammy James decided to cut me up in a corner, T-boned me, and down I went. Managed to hold on to third though.
Do you feel that he fetched you off on purpose, or do you feel your fellow rider, you know, it was a mistake?
No, I don't think it was a mistake, and I think there should be a steward's inquiry.
Well, there you go. I mean,
his blood tested.
There you go. Mr. Matthews there isn't very happy about that, and there will be a formal inquiry, and we'll find out exactly what happened. Just pulled up now is Mr. Lee Weaver, who is racing for Team Kawasaki. He had a good start, but I think because he's been off the bike for such a long time, he got tired very early in the race. He eventually finished 6th, which isn't bad because he hasn't raced for such a long time. Maybe we could grab a quick word and see how he felt. How did you feel out there on the track?
Yes, I mean, as you could tell, my back was giving me a lot of trouble. My wrists have pumped up. I think it has been a long time since I've been on the bike. I did pass Stuart Matthews at one stage, but he took me back and went on to be 3rd or 4th, I think. I hope I do better in the next one.
Well, there you go. You've heard from Lee Weaver, who rode quite well considering he's got a broken back. He's got 2 pins in his legs. He did pass Stuart Matthews, who did finish 3rd. So overall, it was a very good race for him. In about 10 minutes time, if you could all come back, we'll be having a second GP, and hopefully, all being well, we'll get the start on this one and we can have ourselves a really good race. Thank you. Well, we just managed to get hold of Jumping Jammy James there. He was out in the GP. He said there was something wrong with his bike. Well, he took it back to the pits and he fixed what he thought was wrong, and he come out for a second practice. So let's ask him how he felt. He actually come 2nd overall in the GP, which is a very good result. Let's see how he felt out there. Jumping Jammy James, how did you feel out in the first GP of the day?
Well, I felt very good. I went through a stage halfway through with my arms pumped up. It seemed to get better as the race went on. So I was pleased with the result.
Mr. Stuart Matthews, earlier we was interviewing him, complained that you fetched him off, and he feels that it was malicious, and he said that he wanted a steward's to look into this incident. Do you feel that you fetched him off, Mr.
That's motocross.
Well, there you
I just took the inside line and he caught me. I was in front of him.
Well, that's right. You never look behind in motocross. You always concentrate on who's in front of you and not behind you. Hopefully, Jumping Jammy James will have another good result in the second GP, which should be starting in about 10 minutes. Thank you. We have just managed to get hold of Mega Morgan, who used to be ex-Yamaha rider, who is now riding for Team Honda on the Works machine. It is a 125cc machine. He had a very good start in the GP, but unfortunately had a crash on one of the berms and eventually finished 5th. Let's ask him how he felt he did in the GP. Mega Morgan, how do you feel you got on in that GP?
Well, I was going pretty good, yeah, but it's Kerry Graham, he took me out.
There you go, Kerry Graham, who had nothing to do with the GP, was just potting round, fetched Mega Morgan off, of course, which upset him, but he's a good sport, unlike Stuart Matthews, I think you'll find, and he won't be requesting an inquiry from the stewards. How do you feel you're doing the second GP?
Right out, 1st place.
Well, there you go. I mean, you can't be more sure of yourself than that. Let's see, shall we? If we can move over this way. Slight mishap. If we we could move over here to Mr. Hugh Lloyd, who used to ride Team Honda, but was snatched up by Team Suzuki, who is now riding the 250 Suzuki Works machine, might I say. Had a very good start as well. Eventually finished 4th, which is very good, should I say, because this is the first time out on this machine, isn't it? How do you feel you did?
Yes, I did very well first time out on the machine, and hoping for a better start next GP, and hopefully snatch 3rd place.
That is very. How do you feel that the Suzuki handle's different to the Honda? Is it better? Is it?
Well, it's a big. I used to ride 125s. It's a big change in the power, and I think the handling's slightly better on the Suzuki. I prefer it.
Well, you had a very good result. Let's hope that you do better in the 2nd GP, which should be starting hopefully in 5 minutes. So if you boys would like to go and have a rest and get fueled up, we'll get on with the next GP.